Hey guys! So today's video is going to be my 2021 TBR. I'm really hoping to try and get all of these books read this year. This is one of 5 goals of mine. So far, starting out pretty good. I'll also just share with you my goals for 2021. But yeah, if you want to see my TBR for 2021, then let's get started. Let's get the goals out of the way first, just so we can move on to the TBR real quick. My first goal is to read 50 books this year. I read 52 books in 2020, so I'm hoping that I can get to 50 books again this year. I'm not sure because I'm gonna be in school like almost full time, so that's gonna be a little different. I'm hoping that I can still carve out enough time to be reading though, but we'll see. My second goal is to read more Stephen King. I read about 3 Stephen King books last year, and I want to just get more acquainted with Stephen King, and because I know he has so many books out and I want to read more. My third goal is to read more genres in general, like more different genres. I normally read like contemporary romance. This past year I read more historical fiction, but I want to read more historical fiction and more fantasy and more memoirs, which is not really my normal thing. And my fourth goal is to buy less books / read more of my actual collection. So in 2020, I bought so many books, probably 50 books, which is like a lot for me. I increased my reading collection by so much, and like I did read about 52 books last year, so it kind of evens out. But at the same time, I still have so many books in my collection that I have yet to read. So my fourth goal being buy less books and read more in my collection. So that's what we're hoping for. I'm going on a little book buying ban in like at least the first like 4 months of the year, and then we're gonna see how much I've read, how much self-control I have, and we'll take it from there. But those are my current goals, along with goal number 5 being reading all of these books that are in my TBR right now. So yes, on to the TBR. So starting off with my TBR, I'm gonna share with you guys the first 2 books that I've already started off of my TBR. The first one being Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. My friend and I, my like really close friend and I, Chastity, we are buddy reading this book, and we're gonna be posting like reviews on what we thought of this book on each of our channels. So I'll have her channel linked down below for you guys to go check her out. She posts a lot of other content besides like book content. Okay, if the angle changed at all, I'm sorry, my card got full. Anyways, I will have Chastity's channel linked down below. I highly suggest that you subscribe to her channel. I can't talk today. And we will be posting our reviews very shortly. I'm about 100 pages into Get a Life, and I'm loving it so far. There's about 400 pages in this from what I believe. 369 pages in this. So I'm hoping to get through this within the week. So reviews possibly coming in like a week. We shall see. I will keep you updated on when I finish this on my Instagram and on my Goodreads. So follow my Instagram and my Goodreads down below. I will have them linked. Anyways, like I said, loving this so far. It's a cute little romance, and we're just starting to spice things up a little bit. So I'm excited. The second book on my TBR that I have already started is Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reed. If you don't know what this is about, basically what happens in the very first chapter is this woman, Amira, she's a babysitter for this white family, and Amira is black. And so she gets called in like the middle of the night to come babysit just for like an hour or so, because something like an emergency has happened, and the family of this child doesn't want the child to see the police and get like spooked or whatever. So they're like, they call up Amira and they're like, please just come take her somewhere outside of the house because we don't want her to be freaked out by the police. So she does that. She takes the child to like the local supermarket or something, and she's there, and then the security guard at the supermarket gets called over because of like suspicious activity and whatever, and they think that Amira has kidnapped this white child because it's like midnight and she's there with like a white child, and they're like, this obviously isn't your child, and she's like trying to tell them, I'm her babysitter, like I was paid to come out here and do this, and they're just not believing her. They're not even like acknowledging her, they're not even talking to her, they're like talking to the child like, are you here with this woman? How old are you? Who is this woman you're with? And the child's just like off in La La Land, you know? So that's like the first chapter of the book, and that's what kind of catapults the story. So yeah, that alone was a very interesting premise to me, and I'm trying to, like I said in my last book haul, I'm trying to diversify my reading. So I thought this would be a very good book to start out with. On to the books that I have yet to start but are on my TBR pile right now. We're going from the smallest in size to the largest in size, which the largest is really scary to me, so we're leaving that for last. Anyways, the first one is Misery by Stephen King. Like I said, one of my goals is to read more Stephen King this year, so I'm picking this one up. If you follow Noelle Gallagher, then you know that Misery is like her favorite book by Stephen King of all time. Like, she loves it so much. So I figured I have similar taste to Noelle, so might as well pick this one up. I've watched the movie, so I guess I already know what happens, but I really want to read the book because obviously things are different in the book compared to the movie. So yeah. The next book I have is The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley. This has 2 stickers on it. It says Barnes & Noble Book of the Month, so I guess this was like highly rated. I don't really know what this one is about, but basically a group of friends gathers at a New Year's reunion. Oh, New Year's, that's funny because New Year's just happened. And one of them is a murderer and one won't make it out alive. That's what it says on the back. So it says everyone's invited, everyone's a suspect on the front. So I'm really excited to read this. I am borrowing the audiobook for this through Libby. It should be coming in like a couple weeks. So I'm excited to start this book whenever I get that. The next book I have, I tried reading it 3 times in 2020, but each time it didn't work out purely because I wanted to get the audiobook to listen along with it, but the audiobook that I kept getting was like not the same as what was actually in the book, if that makes sense. Like, it wasn't following word for word what was in the book, so I couldn't read along with it, and I was getting really annoyed. So I decided to just put it down, and I was like, we'll try this again later. But anyways, it's The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I really want to start this series. It has been on my TBR for so long. Basically all of last year is what I'm saying. But I'm finally making it a point to read this. I'm not going to wait around for some audiobook that's going to fail me again. I'm just going to read this myself, and we're going to enjoy it, and it's going to be a grand old time. The next book I have was actually in my last book haul, so if you haven't seen that, I would suggest going to check that out. I'll link it down below. It's called All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson. It's a memoir about this black queer man, and he just writes like a collection of essays about his life, what it is like for him living a life as a black queer man. And like I said, trying to diversify. I can't speak. I'm trying to diversify my reading, so I thought this would be another great addition to that. Okay, this next one was also in my last book haul. It's called Felix Ever After by Kaysen Callender. In my book haul, I kind of explained it, kind of was off with my explanation a bit. Felix Love is black, queer, and transgender, and he's in high school trying to figure out like love and trying to figure out his life, all while like receiving really transphobic messages over the internet. And so it kind of is about his journey, like trying to deal with these messages and also accept himself and like all these things. So again, diversifying my reading. I keep saying that, and it's gonna be like me, like a broken record, but it's true. I'm trying to like read more outside of my comfort zone. So I thought this was another great addition for that, and this is like high up on my TBR list. This one is a bit lower on my TBR list, TBH, but I'm trying to read more classics, so I thought I would throw this on here. It's Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and this one is illustrated by Charles Keeping. Sorry about the glare. It has like, this is from the library, but I bought it from a used bookstore. So it has that like protective clear covering on it, so that's why there's that glare. But anyways, everybody knows what Frankenstein is about. I don't have to explain it to you. I'm just trying to tackle some classics. Okay, we're down to the last 2 books. This book is like next up on my TBR list. Like literally, once I finish Get a Life and Such a Fun Age, I'm gonna pick this one up. I might even pick it up now. I might not wait until I'm done with those. Anyways, it's The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. So, if you haven't heard of this, I don't know where you've been because it's been all over BookTube. Truthfully, I've heard some really polarizing opinions about this. You either like really love this book or you're like about it. You know what I'm saying? So, this book follows Addie LaRue, and in France 1714, she kind of makes a deal with the devil to live forever, but the catch is that like once she's out of someone's eyesight or line of sight, they forget about her. So she goes through life living like century after century, influencing like political figures, opinions, and like celebrities and stuff like that. She's like influencing them, but they can't remember who she is. And so I think there's also like a love interest in this, which is like really exciting. So I'm excited to see what happens in this book. And the last book has been on my TBR for a very long time, and I'm gonna tell you right now, the reason why I haven't picked it up is because it is, give me a sec. It is 555 pages long. I don't read books that long. I can't. But like I really want to because it sounds really good. It's called Renegades by Marissa Meyer. It's a gorgeous cover, and I'm gonna read you the inside because it's been a while since I actually bought this. It's been probably like 2 years since I actually bought this, but I'm putting it on my TBR. I'm gonna read it this year. It's another series, so I'm hoping that I'm actually gonna like this and I'm gonna like find another series that I really love. But anyways, the inside says, the Renegades are a syndicate of prodigies, humans with extraordinary abilities who emerged from the ruins of a crumbled society and established peace and order where chaos reigned. As champions of justice, they remain a symbol of hope and courage to everyone, except the villains they once overthrew. Nova has a reason to hate the Renegades, and she is on a mission for vengeance. As she gets closer to her target, she meets Adrian, a renegade boy who believes in justice, and in Nova. But Nova's allegiance is to a villain who has the power to end them both. So that's what this is about. It sounds really good. It's kind of like they shouldn't be aligned with each other, but they kind of are. And I'm really excited about this, so I'm hoping to get through this. This is going to take me a long time to read, but I'm hoping it's going to be a fun read and that I'm actually going to really enjoy it. So this is the last book on my TBR. I only have 10 books on my TBR, but yes. Here are all my books on my TBR. This is a huge stack just because they're like thicker books than I normally read. But I'm excited, honestly. I feel like this year is going to be a really good reading year for me because last year I read 52 books, and I feel like this year I'm going to try my hardest to read more than 52 books, but my official goal is 50 books. So if I get to 50, then that's like 1 book a week, which like I can definitely do. So there we go. I'm really excited for this year of reading. I hope you guys are too. Leave in the comments down below, leave your TBRs. I want to see what books you guys are planning on reading. And until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.